guys, it's Vornskyr here, and today we're back in Early Dangerous, and we're taking a look at update 1.2, which just came out yesterday. I actually hoped to get this video out yesterday, but the update took all day to download, and so here we are today. But anyway, so let's take a look at some of the new features and updates, and as always, apologies for TrackIR going a bit nuts as I looked down towards my notepad and I left my second monitor and all that. But so, update 1.2, what this brings is a number of new features, Wings being the big one, and that's why it's called the Wings update. Wings is, you know, it's a way to fly with other players. Basically, think of it as like groups in an MMO, if I can even speak, in an MMO or something like that. And that's up to 4 players per wing, so that's pretty cool. We've also got the Fer-de-Lance and Vulture. I'm not going to talk about those in this video because I showed them off in a previous video. There'll be a link somewhere for that on an annotation on the screen right now. So take a look at that if you're interested. Also the debug camera, that was in that video as well, but that's really cool. It basically lets you see the outside of your ship and fly around, you know, take a look at the exterior of your ship. It's really good for screenshots and all that sort of thing. I've also got a comms overhaul. That's going to be difficult for me to show off. In fact, the Wings is going to be difficult for me to kind of show off as well in this video, just because nobody on my friends list is online at the moment, and there's no players in space around me, unfortunately. I've been flying around for a couple of hours. I haven't seen a single player, so that's a bit of a pain. So what else we got? There's actually something really cool, which is there's now an ability to reboot destroyed subsystems. So say you get pirated by some psychotic player and he shoots out your thrusters. Previously that was a death sentence, because even though he may not destroy your ship, you would have to self-destruct, because your thrusters were blown up, you couldn't go anywhere, you had to self-destruct. Now you can actually reboot and repair. So you do that, you go over to the Functions tab, and down near the bottom you got this reboot and repair thing. Now I think that there's only 2 or 3 things that are unable to be repaired. I know that the hull can't go, because once the hull's at 0%, you're destroyed anyway. The power plant, I think you can't repair that, because once that's destroyed, you blow up. And I think there's a third one, but I'm not 100% sure. But anyway, the majority of it though, so say things like my multi-cannons, the frameshift drive, I'm pretty sure you can repair that. Thrusters, as I said, at least I'm 99% sure of that. Shield generator, so on and so forth. You see what I mean. So that's really cool. So some other stuff we've got, and I'm just going to quickly run through this before I actually jump out into space and try to show off some of this stuff. So other stuff, NPC variety in extraction sites has been balanced. That's pretty cool. That just means that I guess there's less of a chance that you'll jump in and you'll only find sidewinders, or you'll only find cobras or something like that. So you should have a wider variety of NPCs in those extraction sites now to come up against. Repair costs. Now this is a big one, and unfortunately my ASP isn't actually damaged, so I can't really show you. But integrity's a bit damaged there. But repair costs are apparently significantly cheaper now, so that's really good. Apparently, and like I said, I can't show this myself, but from what I've read, like people with Anacondas are saying the repair costs are like 30k or something like that. So, you know, definitely cheaper from my understanding. So that is really cool. There's other things. So say when you're scooping cargo, or you've picked up cargo that is illegal, it will actually display it somewhere on your HUD. So that's pretty cool. And like say you've got some illegal cargo targeted, like you've blown up a ship, he's dropped some narcotics or something which are illegal in this jurisdiction. When you're actually going in to scoop that, it will display on the HUD that it's an illegal cargo as well, just in case you weren't aware that it was going to be a crime picking up that load. So that's really cool. Carrying on in that same vein, the fines for carrying illegal cargo has been changed. So it's not just some huge blanket fine now, it's actually a proportion of the cargo's value, which means basically if you're carrying illegal bio waste or something that's pretty cheap, I think that's got a smaller fine than say a load of stolen palladium. So yeah, that's pretty cool. So the fine actually scales to the cargo value, which is nice. Again, I mean, I don't know how much sense it makes from a real world point of view, but I think it's far better than the ridiculous fines that you could get previously. It used to be smuggling was basically the worst crime you could commit in this game, just in terms of fines and all that sort of thing. But okay, so that's pretty cool. Now there's a couple of things that I'll go through in the outfitting as well. There are a couple of new components. and we can actually see a couple of them here. So in the utility mounts, and I did show this a little bit in the Ferdlands and Vulture video, but we'll just go through it again quickly. So we have these shield boosters. Basically, when powered, these strengthen your shields, and multiple boosters stack in effectiveness. Although I don't know if you get a kind of diminishing returns sort of thing. So maybe, you know, if you have 2, it might be doubled, but then if you have 3, it's not 3 times. I don't know how that works. All I know is multiple boosters stack in effectiveness. And you can see we've got the different multipliers and stuff here, but they do draw a fair bit of power. So I've got E class here, where's another one? I've got D down here, that's 1.08, and C there. So yeah, so they are pretty good, and they're not very expensive actually. Well, actually it's a bit more than this. B class is 122k, A class is 281, or A rating I should say, but they don't have any size values, so that's the most expensive it'll get. So that's not too bad really. If you're trying to build up a tanky defensive ship, then that's going to be pretty good. The downside of this is that it takes your shields a hell of a lot longer to recharge than it did without the shield boosters. But yeah, so I could buy 2 of those, for example, which would probably buff up my E5 shields just a little bit. So that's the shield boosters, and down here in our internal compartments we also have, if I can find it, hull reinforcement packages. So these basically add on to the armor. I don't know why it has the shield multiplier or shield addition in the stats. I'm not really sure about that, but as you can see, increases the hull integrity and resistance to damage. So you get armor addition 20, so that's actually E2. This is a D1, which is 15. So these do increase your mass a bit. I'm assuming that these stack as well. It doesn't it doesn't specifically state that it stacks, but I'm assuming that it does. That may be a dangerous assumption though. But yeah, so if you're trying to build up a really tanky combat ship, shield boosters and hull reinforcement packages are definitely going to be your friend. You know, you'll limit your jump range a little bit, but for a dedicated combat ship, that's not really too big a deal anyway. So, well, that is that. So let's jump out of here, and I'll talk a bit about the wings, and I will also talk about the new nav beacons, well, not nav beacons, USSs. Because there are different types of USSs now that kind of scale with the whole wings thing. Basically, you can get weak, regular, or strong. It kind of sounds like I'm ordering a coffee or something. But the weak ones are basically designed for a player on their own who's not in a wing or anything like that. Whereas strong ones are designed for players who are in wings, and you might come up against, you know, 1 or 2 wings of NPC opponents or something like that. And I think the regular ones that don't actually have a strength, I'm assuming that they are just the same as they were before. As always with assumptions, that may be slightly dangerous. But anyway, and you can actually see the comm tab up the top is actually a little bit different now. So if I press 4 to activate it, I can scan across like this. Obviously, because there's actually nobody around, I can't do much here. But I guess that would be if I had any friends online, that would probably show up there. Or they could just be players around, like nearby, I'm not really sure. And that's settings. This could be previously received messages or something. And you can also do controls that you'd probably recognize from other MMOs. So say /R, I could reply, or /T. If I did /T, name, hi. Let's see if somebody's on with the name hi. No, or the name I should say. So that's how you do that. It's all good. So it's more useful basically, and there we go. Cool. That took me a little bit. It's still a little bit fiddly working with the tabs and all that sort of thing. But yeah, especially I really wish that you could just kind of target it with TrackIR. It seems to be the one interface sort of thing that you can't really use TrackIR on. But yeah, so that's how the comms work. And to invite people to wings, you go through the comms tab as well. Again, I can't show that off unfortunately, but yeah. So, onwards to wings, which is the major point of this update. Basically, oh, there's a player here. Holy shit, a player. Oh, he's gone. Never mind. I was going to invite him to a wing, but he disappeared. Where did he go? He went into this frameshift drive wake. Oh, I can't do anything about that because I don't have a wake scanner. But basically, there are a few incentives to joining wings. Oh, here's a strong signal source. Let's go in here. We'll see what we can see. But so once you're in a wing, there's actually icons that come across the top as well, so you can see the players and their different statuses and all that. So this looks like a Imperial Navy convoy. Doesn't look like much else is going on here, but we got Type 9s. That's a Vulture. That's one of the new ships. So we've got 3 Type 9s escorted by a Vulture, and these are all Imperial Navy. So that's pretty cool. So let's see if we can get a look at the Vulture. But yeah, I've managed to distract myself from what I was saying with the wings. But yeah, so you can invite players into the wings, and they have different icons up the top, so you can keep an eye on them and you know, track what's going on. It's not going too well. There we go. TrackIR is glitching a bit. And yeah, and so as I was saying, let's get out of this USS. But as I was saying, there are some advantages to being in wings. Like, say, with bounties, you can share the bounty, or with trading. I think if once the trader in a wing, you know, hands in his trade goods, the rest of the wing actually receives vouchers from the profits of that trade. I don't think it actually costs the trader anything. I think it's just automatically generated based on the profits. So, you know, the other wing members get a certain percentage of that. And the same sort of thing with exploration. So there are definitely some advantages to being in wings, apart from the obvious ones of, you know, being in a wing with your friends, you know, cruising around, blowing up bad guys or whatever. So that's always cool. But yeah, so unfortunately it just really sucks that there's nobody around that I can actually show this off with. And we can actually see here, NPCs do fly in wings as well, so you can see these guys I've got targeted. If you have a look in the bottom left, you can see they're actually part of a wing. So that's pretty cool. They're both 2 of 2, I guess. Not sure quite how that works. Seems like everybody's in a wing actually, judging by the targets that I'm scrolling through. But yeah, so NPCs do use wings. What else? Let's slow down and look for another USS. I'll just cruise along here at 30 kilometers per second, and that should work. So yeah, it's really unfortunate that I haven't been able to find anybody to show off the wings with. But from what I've seen of it, it's a good update, especially if you play with players, like, you know, play with different friends or whatever. So what have we got this time? An Imperial Navy Federal dropship. I'm not quite sure how that works. Oh god, there's a bunch of ships here though. Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen Imperials flying a Federal dropship before. That's interesting. Okay, so we got Type 9s. So see, these guys are in a wing of 4 apparently. Although there's more than 4 ships here. So I'm not quite sure what's going on there. So this does appear to be another Imperial Navy convoy. Cool. So if you were a Federation player or whatever, or you wanted to blow up some Imperial ships, that would be one way of doing it. And you can see those are some pretty beefy ships. So you wouldn't want to be taking them on yourself, basically. And that's how the strong USSs work. So yeah, it seems to be a pretty cool update. One thing I will say, with the Fer-de-Lance and the Vulture, I haven't seen them for sale yet, but from what I've read, the Vulture does cost 22 million credits. And can we do it? Will it work? Invite to wing. Oh, I invited somebody to a wing. Let's see if he'll join. He probably won't. But you never know. Oh, didn't mean to do that. Well, I've sent the invite. That's how you send an invite. So that's cool. But yeah, what I was saying, with the Vulture and the Fer-de-Lance, the Vulture costs about 22 million credits. Fer-de-Lance costs over 100 million, which is probably too expensive, but not much we can do about it. So it doesn't look like this guy's going to join our wing. But at least he's not trying to kill me either. So there is that. I think every time somebody sees a player at the moment with this update, they're probably getting spammed with wing invites. But, well, I'm not sure how much more there is for me to say. There is a ton more bug fixes and everything that I mentioned. As always, Frontier's just done a giant wall of text, so it's always a bit difficult to kind of filter through that for all the important stuff, or the stuff that's worth showing off. But so there'll be a link to the patch notes in the video description. Let's go to the signal source as well. So take a look at those if you are interested. But let's see what's in this one. So this is just a regular USS. It doesn't have a weak or strong tag on it. I might be approaching this a bit too quickly as well. So we'll see what's in here. Am I going to go past? Yes, I overshot it. Wonderful. Now we do our nice long slow turnaround. You might have noticed as well, the ASP, it is sounding a bit different. I think they've fixed whatever problems happened with the engine noise, so it has its loud, crazy engine noise back again. So that's pretty cool. What have we got in here? Anything interesting? Got an eagle and a hauler. Are they in a wing together? This guy's wanted. Well, we'll take out the hauler then. This guy's clean. Apparently, it doesn't say that they're in a wing. So let's just unload on him. Cool. Well, that was that was worth it. But yeah, so I think I'll end this one here. So the Wings update. Unfortunately, as I said, I do apologise for not really being able to show off a lot of the Wings specific content. But it's just, when there's nobody online on your friends list, it's pretty difficult, unfortunately. But yeah, so I will end this one here. So definitely take a look at those patch notes, because there is a fair bit of stuff in there, and some of it is pretty cool. But until next time, I've been Vornskyr. I hope you enjoyed the video, and thanks for watching.